Hi, class. So in chapter 2, you're going to be really diving into specific theories and causes and really getting into the meat of where psychopathology comes from. But there are four major influences that you're going to be looking at specifically. And so I'm just going to give you kind of a general understanding of what these influences are. So first and foremost, you're going to be looking at biological influences. So everything from mom's prenatal history with the child to his or her early temperament. And temperament, of course, is the term we use to talk about the early personality that we see. And we can see this as young as infancy. Biological influences are also going to look at, stress hormones that circulate in the child's body. Are they related to mom or dad's tendency towards stress? Alternatively, brain development, patterns of connection, things like that are all going to be important when we start looking at biological theories and biological influences. The second major influence are the emotional influences. So we're going to be looking at, for instance, how well can a child regulate feelings of arousal, stress, agitation. Emotional reactivity and expression are really the first ways that children communicate with the world around them. And of course, the ability for children to regulate emotions is such an important aspect of early relationships with caregivers. The third major influence are behavioral and cognitive influences. So we're going to be looking specifically what factors are helping to maintain the behavior or the emotion. Cognition, on the other hand, looks at thoughts. What self-defeating thoughts does a child have? Children with fears, for instance, develop a self-defeating system, believing that they're going to fail at whatever they do. And then finally, the fourth major influence is the family and the culture. So all children require a parenting style that's sensitive to the child's needs and abilities, but also one that uses limits and structure to help the child develop a sense of self-control. Cultural beliefs are important because they help determine whether people view the child's behavior as normal or abnormal. Because children rarely label their own behavior as abnormal, these definitions of normality depend largely on how a child's behavior is filtered through a family's cultural lens. And of course, cultures are going to vary in terms of what types of behaviors they classify as unacceptable. Spanking is a good example here. So these are just some of, an overview of some of the major theories that you will be looking at for this chapter.